How's it going, everybody? It's Warren. Welcome back to my channel, The Cosmic Wonder, where we talk all things Marvel and everything relating to the MCU. Now, with WandaVision coming out in January, there's been a lot of promotion for the show lately. There's been a lot of interviews done by the cast and crew, and Kevin Feige, who has recently revealed some very interesting things about Wanda's character and some things that might happen in the WandaVision series. And of course, we're all hoping that we'll get another trailer for the series before it comes out, which we should, possibly late December or maybe even early January. But as of right now, the release date has not changed, and the show is coming out on January 15th. We know that it's going to be a pretty wild show, and perhaps the most exciting thing that we can look forward to is Wanda actually becoming the Scarlet Witch. Now, we've been told by Marvel that she's finally going to be called the Scarlet Witch in the series, but the question is, how exactly does she become the Scarlet Witch? Well, it involves some mutants, the Sorcerer Supreme, a demon, and a lot of chaos magic. So we'll break down what we know and what Marvel Studios' president Kevin Feige has told us in a recent interview in this video. If you're new, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest MCU news, and so you can enter this week's giveaway for a chance to win a Black Widow Funko Pop from the Avengers game, provided by HeroesHideout.com. So to start off, there's a few very interesting facts that come from Marvel Studios' president Kevin Feige that he revealed in a recent interview. Now, in this article with Empire magazine, it says that Elizabeth Olsen's character, aka the Scarlet Witch, might have proved she was more powerful than we were ever aware of at the end of Avengers Endgame, but audiences are about to understand her a whole lot better, including what exactly she can do with those Mind Stone-imbued powers. And then it quotes Kevin Feige saying, "If you look at the Infinity Saga, I don't think any single person has gone through more pain and trauma than Wanda Maximoff, and no character seems to be as powerful as Wanda Maximoff." Side note, this is Kevin Feige seemingly confirming that Wanda is indeed the strongest character in the MCU. But he continues to say, "And no character has a power set that is as ill-defined and unexplored as Wanda Maximoff." So it seemed exploring that would be worthwhile post-Endgame. Who else is aware of that power? Where did it come from? Did the Mind Stone unlock it? So those three questions at the end are extremely important and pretty revealing. And we'll start with the first question. Who else is aware of that power? Now, in the comics, Wanda is indeed a mutant, an Omega level mutant, but however, her chaos magical powers were given to her by the demon Chthon. Now, the demon Chthon could show up in the WandaVision series, and he also could show up in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. But remember, this is the MCU. They don't exactly copy the comic books page for page. In fact, they do like to change things up. And there's been a lot of rumors going around that the demon that is actually going to show up is Mephisto. In fact, it's been said that Evan Peters is confirmed to have a role in the WandaVision series, and a lot of people think that that role is indeed the demon Mephisto. Now, as some of you may know, he has a very big connection to Wanda in the comics. When Wanda magically gets pregnant and has her two twin boys, she would go on to find out that they were actually the shards of the spirit of the demon Mephisto, and she ends up taking them back and loses her kids. And this sends her down a very dark path that would ultimately lead to the House of M storyline. Now, could Mephisto actually be responsible for giving her her powers? That's unclear at this point. And it would kind of be an unnecessary retcon. However, we go back to Kevin Feige's question, who else is aware of that power that the Scarlet Witch has? It definitely seems like it is going to be him, especially when you consider that Doctor Strange is confirmed to appear in the WandaVision series. Dealing with demons is kind of what Doctor Strange does, so this makes perfect sense that he's going to have to come into the WandaVision series to help Wanda deal with Mephisto and also control her powers. Now, the last two questions go hand in hand but are very important. Where did it come from, speaking of her powers, and did the Mind Stone unlock it? Now, in the movies, it was said that the Mind Stone did give them their powers. It didn't say they unlocked any powers, it said that it gave them their powers. But now, all of a sudden, the president of Marvel Studios is asking the rhetorical question, did the Mind Stone unlock her powers? And he's also saying, where did they come from? So he is now getting us to question something that Marvel Studios has actually already stated. So this means this is Kevin Feige saying, Wanda didn't actually get her powers from the Mind Stone, they actually unlocked something. And of course, for us fans waiting for the Mutants and the X-Men to come into the MCU, we can only think of one thing. The X gene, the mutant gene. Typically, the X gene lies dormant inside of mutants until awoken, and then they start to exhibit their mutant powers. So essentially, the question that Kevin Feige is asking and getting us to think about is that, did she have the X gene, and did the Mind Stone unlock and awaken her mutant X gene? This is seemingly how they're going to introduce the mutants and the X-Men into the MCU, stating that they actually had the gene the whole entire time, but perhaps the snap awoken some of the X genes inside some people. So it looks like Wanda is in fact going to be a mutant in the WandaVision series. So how exactly is the true Scarlet Witch going to come into play? Well, there are a couple of characters that are seemingly going to help Wanda develop her powers even further. One is Agatha Harkness. Now, a lot of people seem to think that she's going to be a villain of the series, that perhaps it's her that is creating all of these different realities for Wanda and possibly even trapping her inside. And certainly in the comics, she has warped with Wanda's reality a little bit, but it was for her own good. You see, Agatha Harkness, for the most part in the comics, is a good person who definitely cares about Wanda. In the comics, she trains her and she teaches her about her powers. She's also trusted by the Fantastic Four to take care of Franklin Richards, the son of Sue Storm and Reed Richards. So although there is definitely room for Agatha Harkness to be a villain in the WandaVision series, it's more likely that she's going to be a good person, a good witch who is going to help Wanda become a good witch as well, a very powerful witch, the Scarlet Witch. And then, of course, Doctor Strange is confirmed to be in the WandaVision series. Now, of course, he is the master of the mystic arts. He knows a lot of different spells, and he knows how to help Wanda control her powers and grow them. And this is where, seemingly, the Darkhold is going to come in. Now, the Darkhold's origin goes back to the demon I mentioned that gave Wanda her powers in the comics, the demon Chthon. Chthon was a demonic elder god who was Earth's first practitioner of black magic. He wrote the book. He put all of his collected knowledge about magic into this book, and the book is so powerful that even the wizard Merlin and Saint Brendan could not control it or destroy it. Well, Wanda learning this type of magic will definitely give her a huge power boost. In the MCU, Wanda has kind of only messed around with her own chaos magic abilities. She hasn't exactly used any spells, but now she's going to have Agatha Harkness and Doctor Strange who are going to be there to help her learn different types of spells and different ways to control her powers. Now, this alone would give Wanda a very big power boost, and according to Kevin Feige, she's already the most powerful character in the MCU. This could finally earn her her title of the Scarlet Witch, which she has in the comics, alone. But we know that there's going to be more. There's going to be something that sends Wanda over the edge to completely bring out the Scarlet Witch in her. And unfortunately, it's probably going to be the loss of her children. Now, we've seen her kids, Wiccan and Speed, in the trailer. But as I mentioned, in the comics, Mephisto wants them back and he takes them back. And what happens after that is a very long and awesome story, but to put it simply, Wanda slowly starts to go insane, until eventually she creates the House of M reality where mutants rule the world, and Magneto and the Scarlet Witch, along with Quicksilver and her two children, rule the world. Now this is true Scarlet Witch power, and although I don't think she's going to be ruling the world in the WandaVision series, I do think that she's going to want and try to get her kids back, which is where I think Doctor Strange is going to come in and try and help. And from here, where she's devastated at the loss of her kids and absolutely over the top angry, I think that's when we'll see her explode on the demon Mephisto or another villain to fight and get her kids back, and that's when I think we're going to get the true Scarlet Witch that we've been waiting for. The Omega level mutant with chaos reality warping magic, the Scarlet Witch. There is a ton of stuff to be excited for and a lot of stuff we're anticipating for the WandaVision series, but let me know in the comments down below how excited you are to finally see the true Scarlet Witch on screen. Be sure to let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to stay up to date on all the latest MCU news. For live updates, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.